Today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of a drone shoot, but I'm already running late, so you're just going to have to come along for the ride. Today, I'm flying the Royal Oak Pride Festival. This is going to be a very dynamic event. It's going to have a bunch of people. It's going to go past sunset. There are going to be plenty of challenges, but that's going to be a great representation of what I look to do as I'm doing a drone shoot. I'm supposed to fly at 8 p.m. That's right around sunset, which means that I really want to get there early with plenty of time to be able to scope out the venue, check things out, connect with my client, all before I have to set up and fly. The first thing I do once I get to an event is I'm going to connect with my client as soon as I can. Then I'm going to go on a walk around the event to check things out. One of the first things I'm looking for when I'm on this walk is I'm looking for different hazards that may interfere with my drone flying. This can be anything from poles, wires hanging overhead, big speaker boxes, or maybe it's a big stage. That's really why you want to make sure to get there before dark. That way then you can check everything out ahead of time. I've flown this park a few times already, so I kind of know the layout, but there are still going to be different stages set up and different attractions set up. So I really want to make sure that I'm aware of what the potential hazards around those areas might be. While I'm on this walk, I'm also going to start planning out my flight. I know that I'm going to have to take photos and videos at each location, so I'm trying to look at where might some of the best angles be, where are some of the best places where I can fly, and get kind of an idea of some of the shots that I'm looking to take as I get to the venue.
This is like the really populated area, so I'm a little worried, but it would be cool to do a nice little fly over, head height or something. That'd be perfect.
Really, on this walk, I want to have an idea of the different kind of shots that I want to take at each point of interest along my route and figure out kind of where I want to fly. Now it's on to almost everybody's favorite part about being a drone pilot. Actually flying the event, interacting with the crowd, and getting some phenomenal shots. At this point, I've already walked the area. I know where I can and cannot fly. I know the different points of interest that I'm trying to capture along the way. And I kind of have an idea of the different drone shots and what I'm going to be capturing along this route. Now it's just time to execute the plan. At each point of interest, I'm really making sure to capture a ton of extra footage from different angles and different distances. This will help me in the post-production as I'm putting everything together. Really, I want to give myself plenty of footage for post. The last thing you want to do is get into the edit and realize that you don't have enough footage or enough photos for some reason. It'd be much better if you end up cutting half of the shots that you shoot rather than not having enough to fill your edit. With my videos, I definitely tend to overshoot and capture more than what's needed. But when it comes to photos, sometimes I forget to switch into photo mode and capture the photos that I need. Something that helps me is sometimes creating a checklist of all the photos that I need to take and different angles, different areas, and divide it that way. Having a checklist and being able to check everything off makes it much easier when I'm on the fly at my drone shoot. And then that's a wrap. A couple of silly photos later that they're never going to see, some questions from some drone fanatics later, and we're almost done with the shoot. One of the last things I do is I try and connect with my client before leaving. Sometimes afterwards, I'll even send them an email just to follow up, saying how excited I was for the shoot, how great I thought things turned out, and kind of give them a timeline of when they can expect things. I always try and make sure beforehand to work with the client to make sure they know exactly when they can expect their footage. That way, then there are no surprises the day of the drone shoot. I know some clients have asked for photos the day of to make sure they can get something out on social media right away, whereas others don't mind if you take some time. So it's important to just talk to your client and work with them directly. And welcome to the worst part about being a drone pilot, having to actually go through all of your footage and edit it all together. Post-production, at least, is one of my least favorite parts about the job, so I definitely try and outsource it when I can. But I figured that this would be a great opportunity to show you guys kind of my workflow as I go through a drone project. Yeah, I outsourced that video. I was out of town that weekend, but this was the best way for me to deliver a final product that was quality on time. I still go through my workflow and some tips for the editing process, so make sure to stay tuned. This process can take anywhere from 1 day to almost a week. I try and get everything out the door as quick as possible, but I also, again, always am upfront and clear with my clients right away before we get to the drone shoot. That way then they kind of know what to expect going in. I'll make a whole other video talking about the post-production side and what really goes into creating a full-length video for a client. But I want to touch on some key points here. It's important to have some decent photo and video editing software. This will honestly just help streamline your process and make things much quicker. I personally use the Adobe suite because it's easy, simple, and reliable. But honestly, if you're learning any type of software, as long as you can kind of figure it out, you'll end up developing skills, and I'm sure you'll be fine. As you start creating more photos and videos for your clients, you'll create your own workflow of kind of what works for you through the post-production process. But here's kind of how I work through a video. First, I'll make sure to just clean up all the clips, make sure to take out the front and ends of that don't really work for a video, and I'll put them off to the side. Next, if the client paid for it, I'll toss in some music and I'll start editing the clips to the music. Finally, I go over and I color grade all the footage. I don't go too crazy with the color grade. I like to keep things clean and simple, but you can kind of have fun with this part. Then I upload all the photos and videos to a client gallery and I send that off to a client. I email the client, send an invoice, and send the client gallery. If I thought the shoot went really well, I'll even ask for a review or a referral, and then that kind of wraps everything up and I'm done. I hope you enjoyed going behind the scenes of this drone shoot. If you got value from that video, you might like to check out one of my others up here. I'll catch you guys in the next one.